Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It seems like there is a few little premium sales which are going on in War Thunder right now to celebrate a different set of events. The first one is for Battle of Britain Day, and the other one is for the KA50, which of course is a vehicle that lives in infamy, I think is probably the way to put it. Basically, to celebrate the Battle of Britain Day, Gaijin are doing a bundle which has the John Plagis' Spitfire LF Mark 9 pack and also Prendergast Spitfire FR Mark 14E pack. What we'll do is we'll have a look at both of them for you, but just as a recommendation, this is a very good pack. Both of these vehicles are incredibly good. If you want to pick up the pack, make sure to use the partner link in the description. I'll put a pinned comment with it as well, just to basically help out. Also, at the same time, if you don't want to buy the bundle, each vehicle is available for Golden Eagles in the game, but just understand you won't get as much value out of that since the bundle has extra stuff in it too. The other part of it as well is there is a decal that you can get, the Few decal. Now this one is actually really awesome because first of all you have to do to get it is to play 3 battles using British aircraft at rank 3 or higher, and you'll be able to get it until the 16th of September, so basically over the weekend. But what this decal does is it represents all the different nations that were involved in the Battle of Britain for the Allied side. Usually a lot of people focus on just the British side of the Battle of Britain or even the Polish side, but there were so many other nations which were involved to keep Britain safe, and I think doing a mark like this is fantastic. The fact that they have Newfoundland and Labrador, also Jamaica, Barbados, and Czechoslovakia, and even Southern Rhodesia in there, is also an interesting mark on history to kind of show how things change over time. The other little special that is on is for the KA50. Now, this is to celebrate Nikolai Kamov's birthday. He is celebrating it on the 14th of September. So the KA50 is going to be 30% off in the store. This means that, you can pick it up a little bit more cheaply. The KA50 is incredibly broken, but let's get into it and see these vehicles. The first vehicle in the bundle is Plagis' Spitfire LF Mark 9C. This is really similar to some of the vehicles that are already in the tree, like the LF Mark 9 that you can see right here. The major difference between them is the guns, where the Mark 9C has the 477s instead of the different guns. This is something that you'll find with a lot of Spitfires. They'll either have the 50 cals, like the LF Mark 9 here, or if you have a look at the standard Mark 9, which is in the tech tree somewhere, here it is, you can see it has the 77s. So it's basically just a mixture of two different ideas. This vehicle has the Merlin 66 engine, which is very powerful for the platform. Basically means that you have a really good rate of climb, so that gives you the energy advantage over most vehicles that you can play against, and you can kind of play what you want from there. You can either, dive on them and hammer them, even though this thing doesn't have the greatest dive speed compared to some things, but generally it'll be fine. And then also you can turn fight them. You can turn fight anything in this game and win, apart from a 0, so just take that into account. Or you can just, fight them normally and have a great time. The Spitfires are incredibly fun. The only issue with some of the earlier Spitfires is engine management, since the engines do burn out quite quickly. The Mark 9 definitely is not as bad at that, so I wouldn't worry as much about the thing exploding. It does have access to some bombs, but let's just say they're not exactly fantastic. It's just like a few extra ones that you want to take into ground if you want to play this as a kind of a superiority fighter against everything else. It does have the 150 octane fuel, which gives it a big boost in performance, and also has the 20mm to do a ton of damage too. Because of the Spitfire and because of how maneuverable it is, for me, I like to get close to a target and then hammer them with the guns before moving on to the next one. I feel like it's quite easy to position the guns because of the general structure of this vehicle, and it works very well. So this vehicle is a lot of fun in the game. Then we have Prendergast's Spitfire. This is the FR Mark 14E. Now, it's kind of an interesting BR at 5.7 for the Spitfires, because you have some of the really mobile but also maneuverable Merlin Spitfires, but then also you get another massive upgrade, and that is the Rolls-Royce Griffon 65. This gives the Spitfire a lot more power under the hood, meaning that you're a lot faster, and even though you're a lot heavier, you are able to go great speeds in a dive and also in a straight line. It's actually really weird going through the Spitfire line, because you go through these ones, which are all the Merlin Spitfires, and then you get here, and then you play 2 Griffon Spitfires, and you get this feeling of kind of power with the engine, and then you go back to the LF, which has, of course, the Merlin, but then you get onto these two, and it is just insane how powerful that they are. Prendergast is no different. Basically, it's just a clip-winged Griffon Spit. It's very similar to the other ones that are around, so it's a little bit maneuverable, a little bit more maneuverable at specific altitudes. But usually, the way that aerialistic works, everybody climbs up to like 3 to 4 to 5K, and then everybody dives down. And then at that point in Prendergast, you can kind of do whatever you want because you usually have the maneuverability and the power to fight anything. One of the great things about a vehicle like this is that the way that I see it, it's the G55S is another great example of this. Your vehicle does everything well compared to pretty much all of the opposition that you fight. And that means that what you can do is you can do anything. Instead of worrying about your weaknesses and what you're not able to do, you can focus on the enemy's weaknesses and fight them from there. And that works really well with this aircraft, and also pretty much all of the British tech tree around here. Another thing to also note about both of them being 5.7 is the fact that you don't really have a ground lineup at 5.7 at all for the British, so you'd have to run them at like 6.0 or 6.3, but that would be fine. They are still pretty good S-priority fighters at that BR, and also, with the extra bomb, they can at least give something for that area. But these are more aerialistic or air arcade hammerers, and they can run really well together in air arcade or simulator, but in aerialistic they'll also do really well. This one doesn't have the 7.7s, it has the 50 cals, so the 50 cals have a lot less ammo, but obviously they hit a lot harder, and it does keep the Hispanos. So once again, with this vehicle, the way that I would say is you need to get close to the target, hammer down, and then move on to the next one. You'll do fantastic in these vehicles in the current meta. You'll have a great time if you decide to pick them up. The KA50 is also on sale, and as we've talked about previously, this vehicle is incredibly powerful. It has very high rewards for what it is, and also has very low repair cost, and also at the same time doesn't cost a lot to really spawn in. It has a lot of systems to keep it alive, including the Moor, which it has access to. A lot of vehicles that actually fight this thing cannot do anything against it. A lot of IR missile launchers literally cannot lock onto it when it's at its firing range, and all you have to do is take off and use the Vickers and annihilate people from miles away. It's an incredibly powerful aircraft in ground. It's an incredibly powerful aircraft in heli PvE to be able to grind out the Russian tech tree, and overall has just been a awful vehicle to play against for a long time, which is why I have never bought it. There are specific vehicles in the game which I have no interest playing because I know how overpowered that they are and that they will never be fixed because of the fact that they're premiums. This is one of them. So if that isn't a recommendation for a vehicle like this, I don't know what is. The last piece of news isn't really news, it's just a bit of fun, and it's about one of the Dance of Dragons wallpapers or loading screens that are here. The one for the J10 is beautiful. The J10 itself, if you have a look at it, the missiles look really nice, and also the vehicle looks really nice too. In the background, there is a mysterious plane that has caused a bit of controversy over the last few days because people are trying to work out what it is, where it's probably just a badly made plane or a badly drawn plane of something else. But you can see all the countermeasures, the flames, and then of course the plane itself. So people are trying to work out what it is. Is it a mysterious aircraft that hasn't been added to the game yet? Is it a sneak peek into what's there in the future? Probably not, no. It's either a badly drawn F-16 or it's something similar to like an AMX or, you know, an Alpha Jet kind of deal too. Looks like it's the bottom of the vehicle, and obviously once it's on fire, it has a single engine in the center, which is why for me it looks like an F-16. But as, you know, we've talked about previously, when it comes to this stuff, it could be anything. Who knows? Maybe it is a new plane. Maybe it is something that has never been seen before. So what I'd like from you guys is for you to give your interpretations of what this vehicle is. I think it would be quite fun to at least see what other people see. You know, when you get those like pictures where you're supposed to see like different things from it, I feel like in War Thunder especially, that happens a lot, and at least I find it interesting to see different people's perspectives. So for me, this vehicle is like an F-16, or it's like an Alpha Jet kind of vehicle. So, you know, one of those strike aircraft. Let me know what you think it is, so therefore we can have a bit of fun. As always though, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.